Today is going to be a very, very painful and embarrassing day. I'll go over what today is going to look like. I have to go to the pharmacy to get some very basic medications, some stuff for the GI that's supposed to help with like cramping, stuff like that. Um, some meds that help with the twitching and seizures a little. We're going to get more targeted with that later, but I have to get to the pharmacy to pick them up. I also have to stop at my primary care to pick up a letter for my boss so I can go back to work whenever I'm a little better. But I have to keep on getting these letters once a month or I won't have a job to go back to. And I really, really like the fact that I'm one of the best employees there. I constantly get compliments. I get more done than everybody else, and I run a business by myself with nobody over my shoulder. That way, if I shake and fall to the ground, I can get back up and continue where I left off, especially if no customers are there. Boom. Nobody saw it. I've already told my manager about this. They don't care. Keep going. So I like that. So I really need to get these letters. Now, here's the difficulty with that. I don't have any transportation. Nobody in my family is going to drive me to these appointments. They won't even drive me back from the emergency room after a seizure. They won't drive me to the emergency room when I'm having a seizure or right before a seizure. So there's no transportation whatsoever for me. I could take a taxi and make those stops, but that would almost cost over $50. Depending on where I'm going, past the line, it could be more. I'm staying in Rochester, the same town I live in, so I should be able to keep it down if I took a taxi about, let me see, one, two, three stops, 26 a piece. If they add mileage, maybe they could knock it down. But it'll be around $26 to $50 if I wanted to take a taxi to pick these up today, around there, because each stop costs more if you're making multiple stops. If I was just going straight down, that would be 13, and straight back is 13 because we're only going down the street. Normally I would walk to the primary care, but I lost that ability 6 months ago. I no longer can walk. I would have to crawl there, and don't got the strength to crawl a mile. I just don't. It's not that far. I usually just walk it, like I said. That's why I have to use more local transportation. I don't have anybody really to drive me around, so this is what I do. I just throw stuff on my back and I walk it. But that's not an option while this and injured in this way. So today I will hobble myself with the cane's crutches. I might have to squat or crawl a little bit. Well, I try to prevent the crawling by squatting and then getting back up, getting a foot or two, then I squat, and then I get back up, and I keep doing that. And it seems to work and get me where I need to go. The alternative is I get stuck, and I have to kind of crawl or wait, and I miss my bus or I miss my opportunity to get down. So crawling is mostly in the house, stairs, and things like that, what embarrass me and completely. There's no reason why somebody at my age should be having to crawl. I should have medical care. I should have people helping me. These doctors should be taking this seriously. People are taking this seriously after 25 years of it, but this only gets this bad, by the way, when I have other conditions. So I have a pre-existing neurological condition. I've had that for 25 years. It sucks, it hurts, it causes a lot of difficulty. But when I get something like an infection in my mouth, or I get an infection in my GI region, or an infection in my leg, it sends pulses out to my body and makes the pre-existing condition worse, so I lose mobility. So today I will be doing that to the bus stop. I will get on the bus. To do that, I have to use the pole and a crutch, and I have to use my arms to pull myself on. Now, the bus drivers see me squat to the floor and get stuck on the floor before. The bus drivers aren't too happy about seeing one of their customers fall to the ground, get back up, fall to the ground, get back up. They think I need an ambulance, but the ambulances won't bring you to do stuff like this. So it's out of the question. So it's very embarrassing to be seen like this, but there's nothing I can do but power through it. Ask God for strength. Fuck you. You don't even know what this feels like. You want me to get up? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get up and then I'm going to sit down. That's exactly what I'm going to do, sir. And that's basically what I tell them. People don't realize how embarrassing this is. Um, anyway, so I'll be getting myself to the bus stop, getting on the bus stop. I'll have a lot of difficulty in that, as well as my GI region is going to cramp and hurt a lot more because I'm forcing the muscles to move when they're already painful, cramped, swollen, and hurting. As well as I'll shake a lot, and there's a chance that I will have a full-blown seizure today. At that point, I will try to get off the bus right at the pharmacy, but I still have to go up about a football field, cross a busy intersection, and then make it in the pharmacy. Now that's difficult. When I go to cross the road, what I do is I sit on the ground and I just let the cars go for a while. I rest for a good amount of time, and then I have to squat, stop, squat, stop, squat, stop across the crosswalk. Sometimes I can make it halfway without a squat. Sometimes I can make it all the way without a squat. But the worse that this GI gets, the worse I can hold on for without causing a full-blown seizure. Because if I try to force it too much, I'll shake to the ground. And that's when I get more seriously hurt. When I just squat to the ground, I don't get hurt at all. I just have to wait where I am and continue in a minute or so. But if I try to force it through, I end up with like pulling muscles, having full-blown seizures, shaking to the ground where my head hits the ground. These are the type of things that happen if I force it for too long. Now, these things happen when I had my teeth infected. These things happen when the fireworks went off when I was a kid. These things happen when I was being drugged and given all different types of medication. But, it's always different, especially after 25 years. It's getting progressively worse. So this is what I'll be doing. Once when I get across the road, I'll try to make it into the pharmacy. When I get into the pharmacy, I use carriages like a walker. I just prop half my body onto these carriages, and then I just put my weight on those. That way I really don't even have to use my feet much. They just kind of move the carriage. The carriage is holding my weight up. I'm so light and I've lost so much weight, the carriages don't flip or fall over. I only weigh 100 pounds, and that's not something that's going to change right now. I'm eating very soft food. My diet is very healthy, but that's not going to cause me to gain a ridiculous amount of weight or nothing. I spent the last 5 years gaining weight. I was making it to about 126, 130, somewhere around there. But obviously, with this condition, that bounces back every so often. Once when I get in the pharmacy, I'll sit down in the chair, wait for my turn, prop myself onto the carriage, get my stuff, get out. Now here's the hard part. I also have to make it all the way to my doctor's office. I have to make it there to pick up the notes for work. Now the notes can be transferred over the phone, or I can send somebody else to bring it to work, but I'll have to pick it up in person most likely. I mean, I could send maybe like a family member if I had one, but I have a deadbeat father, and my mother, she's gone. I mean, I do get like $100 check on Christmas, and I get like $100 check on my birthday or something like that, and that's only started recently. When I was struggling homeless, these things happened much less. I didn't have a mailing address, and I do appreciate the small amount of help I get. I really do. But that's not what you do for your son for 25 years of this. You monitor your son's health, and you try to get them the proper doctors, and if something's going on, like medication abuse, you try to, fix that, or you try to get it to stop. That was never done in my case. The medications went all over the place. It was madness. It was complete madness. Yeah, basically, my whole childhood was complete madness. If you were at any of these programs, or even in the household with my mother, or even if you tried some of the medications I had forced on me, or if you took double doses of the medications that were forced on me, you would not be able to go to work. I mean, you would feel horrible. I dare anybody to try to take what I took as a child, and they'll probably end up some psychopath. Luckily, I became like monk or religious, trying to help everybody. That's the way I deal with it. But anyways, we'll continue. So somehow I need to make it to my doctor's office. Now, there's no crosswalk there, and it's 108 is the road I live on, so traffic goes about 60 miles per hour. The street signs, I think, are 40, but people go 60, and there's no crosswalk anywhere near my doctor's office. Very dangerous for me to cross, but I will have to cross it to get this note. I will be probably falling down, squatting, the whole thing I've been doing. But if I squat, go, at least I won't fall and get seriously injured or really scraped up. My knees might get a little scraped up. My shins might get a little scraped up, but a lot better than having scars on your face or full-blown seizures. So when I get that note, the last step is to get home. To get home, that's more simple. I just wait right about 10 feet from my doctor's office. Very easy. But I'm going to have to hurt myself quite a bit today to get all this done. Now, what I think is funny is a lot of doctors will tell you, don't try to hurt yourself, don't self-harm. Meanwhile, you're being told to put your life in danger to get a piece of paper. So, it is kind of funny the way that society runs. They tell you not to hurt yourself, and then they ask you to almost kill yourself for a piece of paper. Then, they'll tell you something else, like don't self-medicate, what I highly suggest nobody self-medicates with pharmaceutical prescription drugs. But as far as over-the-counter herbs, spices, things like that, every single person in America has taken a Tylenol or a Tums or some self-medication in their life. I guarantee you, the people listening to this video, you have gone out, found a medication at the pharmacy. Maybe it's a vitamin, maybe it's a supplement, maybe it's Tums, maybe it's aspirin, maybe it's Excedrin. Doesn't matter. And then you took it yourself without checking with your doctor first. I guarantee almost every person in America has done that at least once as an adult. No child should be doing this, and no child should be given medication before it's checked with a doctor. A good primary care or a more targeted doctor is what you need. Like for my nervous system, I'll see a neurologist. For my GI, I'll see a GI specialist. For some of my bathroom issues, I'll see a urologist. And a primary care will tell me what I need for what issue. And that's the proper way that you handle health. You don't just throw everything at a psychiatrist. That will not help. You can't go to a psychiatrist for inflamed bowels. You can't go to a psychiatrist because you're having seizures on the side of the road. You'll get very little to no help, and you could get worse. So I highly suggest seeing the right doctor for the right issue. I'll end this here, and then I'm going to go over what it's like at work when I'm doing better. Because I do a lot better than my co-workers. I get compliments all the time, and I get more done than the average person. Now, hearing this, you probably would think, how could that be? But I work it in a way where if I don't have an infected mouth, or if I don't have a severe GI problem, or I don't have a bad leg that's broken, or something like that, I found ways to cope and do better than most minimum wage workers. One thing is I have pride in my work. Meanwhile, most people are like, I'm getting paid $10 an hour, I can't pay my rent, screw this, I'm going to find some other way to make money, and who cares about this job? I don't have that mindset. I say, if I'm going to be working, then I'm putting 110% in no matter who it is. Doesn't matter if I'm shoveling out a manhole, what I've done before. I'm shoveling that manhole out until it's spotless. If you give me bleach, I'll wipe the manhole clean on the corners too. I don't care. I will make that until my job is complete and you tell me, wow, that's great. And if you need me to do things quicker, if you need more things done in a small amount of time, that's what I'll try to do. You tell me what you want done, and I will do it. But anyways, yeah, today's going to be a rough one. I'll probably try to give a bigger update of what happened after I get back home.